So I'll just give a bit of a background as to what we're going to do. So today we have a seminar from 10 to 3. So we'll start at 10 o'clock, then we'll have a lunch break around 12 o'clock, and then we'll have half an hour lunch break, and then we'll continue till 3. Then tomorrow, like last year, we had the seminar on Japa workshop from 2 to 5. But this time, Virat Prabhu suggested that we can have at the Saturday and Sunday feast time, which works out better also, for everyone. They don't have to come before and then stay long and all that. So the only thing is tomorrow and the after, your regular guests come who are not, then little disturbance will be there, but I think we should be okay with that. So every seminar will have a bhajan in the beginning, of Gaur bhajan. Then we'll we'll have Gaur bhajan, which we'll read the translation first, then we'll sing the bhajan, and after that we'll have a seminar, a lot of interactive discussion, and maybe not a lot of interactive discussion because it's actually a lot of explanation given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then we'll end with the 5-minute kirtan like that. So we'll start with bhajan now. We'll read the translation first so that we understand, and then we'll recite the bhajan in a call and response manner, and then we'll start the seminar. Yeah. And just one request, I know everyone knows that please keep your phones on either vibrator or silent. This was my laptop and not my phone, so I've kept my laptop on silent now. So please, yeah.
My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these 3 worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen soul. But I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is past. My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also kind to me. Gaura's love embodiment is shown in Gadadhar Pandit, Shivash Pandit, and Haridas Thakur are the ocean of mercy. O Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O 6 Goswamis, O Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, O Loknath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Das, also prays for your mercy. O Srinivas Acharya, successor of the 6 Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramchandra Chakravarti.
So just to give you a bit of background, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna himself when he came, he did not come alone. We know the word, how many of you know the meaning of the word Panchatattva? Panchatattva means 5 truths. 5 truths, yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, then he comes with his expansion, Nityananda Prabhu, his incarnation, Advaita Acharya, his devotee, Srimati Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit, and then his energy, Srimati Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit, and then his devotee as Shivas Thakur. So Krishna himself, expansion, incarnation, energy and devotee. So that's Panchatattva. So these are all mentioned here. And Narottam Das Thakur, the devotional poet, he is asking for their mercy. So let's follow in the footsteps of Narottam Das Thakur and also ask for mercy of Mahaprabhu and all his associates. Yeah.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya
Chaitanya Prabhu Daya koro more तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसार
So again, we welcome you everyone on this day where we are starting the seminar of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So, is it the first title? So, this is the objective of the seminar. First of all, we need to know who is Lord Chaitanya and the Lord Chaitanya's mission. You know, some of the topics which we will cover, some of us might know, and some of us don't know very well. But it's always nice to study in a flow the style of God consciousness. So even if we can keep the doors, windows open, whatever you want, I'm okay with anything. You want to keep the fans on, fans off. You want to stand up, you want to walk, you want to drink water, just feel free. Because we have to be comfortable so the mind is attentive. The most important thing is that when we have parked our bodies here, let's park our minds also here. That's most important. So, are we starting this thing, recording now?
Yes.
Is recording? Okay, yeah. Okay. Because a few people have also asked me that if you cannot make it, even from our station, they said, is the recording going to be available? So, we are recording this. So, then the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, as you can see here, he gave the teachings to who? Can you read? Can someone read from here?
To Srila Goswami.
Yeah.
And to Srila Sanatana Goswami.
Yes.
To Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Yes.
And Ramananda Raya.
Yes.
And to Srila Haridas Thakur.
Yes. So these are the five main personalities we're going to cover. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Raya, and Haridas Thakur. So with Rupa and Sanatana, Mahaprabhu actually just spoke. Now, how much time have we got today? For the first teachings to Rupa Goswami, we might have probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours maximum. Mahaprabhu spoke to Rupa Goswami for 10 days. For 10 days continuously. So it is going to be impossible for us to cover this. So this is, you can understand, this is just a synopsis of what teachings are given. Right? And then in the second class today we're going to cover the teachings to Sanatana Goswami. And does anyone know how long did Mahaprabhu spoke to Sanatana Goswami for?
Around a month or something.
Okay, good guess? Okay. 2 months he spoke for. He spoke to Sanatana Goswami for 2 months. Now imagine these two personalities are speaking for 2 months, what they are saying, and we are going to cover in 1.5 hours. It's almost impossible. So I'm going to give you the references also. Then, you can go back and at your leisure you can study these chapters and then it will be easier like that, yeah? So, as I said in the beginning, that some of you might know that this is already, you already know, because many of us have studied Bhagavad Gita and the teachings are repeated. But it's nice to just come in the flow. Now, as we know, all these five personalities are actually taking part in Gaura Leela. Gaura Leela means the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this planet. Now, we can just speak about who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 3 seminars, three classes, but we are not going to do that. The only introduction I'm going to give is when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, when they met Mahaprabhu for the first time. So, automatically the verse came out of Rupa Goswami's mouth. Does anyone know this verse? Anyone knows this verse? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurita Namo. So I will explain you this. So, of course we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself. So Krishna has come as a hidden incarnation, as a Channa avatar. Channa means hidden. So he is not mentioned extensively and openly in the scriptures, but he is an incarnation of Krishna. And one time, one devotee, Prabhupada was there, then Prabhupada asked one of his disciples to give class in Mayapur. And then he was giving a class and then he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like Krishna, he is an incarnation of Krishna. Prabhupada said, no. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. He is not like Krishna, he is not an incarnation. He is Krishna. So we have to understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. He has come for a particular purpose, for a particular mission. And so Lord Chaitanya's mission. And what is the mission? What is the mission? Yes. Where? In Burbank. Every town and village. Yes. So, Jagate Aji Adi Nagara Digram Sarvatra Hoye Prachar Mora Naam. So Mahaprabhu said, in this world, in this planet, as many towns and villages are there, my name will be heard there. And Prabhupada has actually, proven that prophecy. That yes, in every town and village, Mahaprabhu's name, Krishna's name will be spread. So that's the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today we will speak in the first session about teachings to Rupa Goswami. In the second session we will speak about teachings to Sanatana Goswami. Tomorrow we will speak about teachings to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Now as I said, Mahaprabhu actually spoke to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, first Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke to Mahaprabhu, and I will tell you the topic. It was on Mayavad. So because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was himself a very scholarly person, and in those days scholarship was, awarded with everything, what one may desire. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he is supposed to be an incarnation of Brihaspati. Now Brihaspati also is a very scholarly devata, is a very scholarly demigod. So those who are writing notes, you can write these notes, otherwise you can, hear this again and, understand. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he speaks to Mahaprabhu for 7 days and 7 nights, continuously on Mayavad philosophy. Mahaprabhu listens very carefully and then he starts speaking. So it is not just Mahaprabhu speaking, Mahaprabhu is first hearing from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And the Ramananda Rai is interesting, both with Ramananda Rai and Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu is actually asking them questions and they are teaching. So it's like, our Guru is asking us question and then we are, of course, both Ramananda Rai and Haridas Thakur, they say that Mahaprabhu, you are Krishna himself, you are the Lord himself. I do not know anything, whatever I am speaking is because of your mercy, because you are putting the words in my mouth. I have got no capacity. They acknowledge that from the very beginning. And even in between, they keep on acknowledging. Because we will see when the dialogue with Ramananda Rai is just amazing. I would say that whenever you get time, you can hear on YouTube, you can see the dramas, you can hear classes, whatever it is. It's called Ramananda Rai Samvad. Samvad means the conversation. So the conversation between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. And then the last one on Sunday, we will discuss the teachings to Haridas Thakur again. As we said that Mahaprabhu is asking questions and Haridas Thakur is replying. And especially on the chanting of the holy names. And there's a book which Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. It is called Harinam Chintamani. Chintamani means touchstone. A touchstone, and it's a touchstone, the jewel of the holy name, Harinam Chintamani. So let's get into the teachings of Rupa Goswami. So we have to understand that this is a journey. We are going from Brisbane to Sydney to Melbourne to probably Adelaide, I don't know very well. And we have a flow going on. So if you're paying attention and if the flow is not correct, please let me know. Because I have done this seminar just for my own purification. It's not that I know more than you and I'm going to explain to you. No. This is all coming from 2 books, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So teachings to Rupa Goswami, if someone wants to write this down, is coming from the first chapter of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So if I'm missing out something, or because of course we won't have time to complete everything. So Teachings to Rupa Goswami is from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya chapter 1. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is Madhya Lila chapter 19. Madhya Lila chapter 19. You might just, one day you've got 15-20 minutes, half an hour. Okay, I want to spend this time. Just open this Madhya Lila chapter 19 and just read the translation. You're sitting in front of a laptop in the office. I know many people in the office, they've got a lot of time. So, anyway, you can just pretend that you're working, but you can read this Madhya Lila chapter 19. And then you'll understand the flow of the dialogue regarding devotional service. So what are the three things which Mahaprabhu teaches to Rupa Goswami? Can someone say please?
Truth about Krishna,
Truth about Krishna, yeah?
principles of devotional service,
Okay.
the transcendental mellows, that's a relationship with Krishna.
Yes, relationship with Krishna. Even though Sanatana Goswami is Sambandha Acharya, right? He is the guru of establishing Sambandha with Krishna. But the rasa, the mellows, comes from Rupa Goswami, the teachings of Rupa Goswami. Now when you speak of rasa, what is the meaning of rasa? Not the one who is cooking the feast today. What is the meaning of rasa? Nectar?
Different house.
Yes, very good. Yes. So we see, with Krishna we have an affection of, like a parent, right? A parent-child relationship. Within ourselves we have friendship. Then we have different relationship in our own sphere also, you can see. So similarly, when we come to that level of pure devotion, and I hope and pray that each one of us will come to that level one day, and that day will be very soon. That we can actually understand. Don't bring it artificially, please. When I'm saying something, I'm trying to just encourage you, not trying to bring artificially here. That we chant our rounds, we be patient, and then as Prabhupada said one time, my Guru Maharaj asked him a question that when will we know our eternal relationship with Krishna, our Siddha Swarupa? And Prabhupada said that you will know when the time comes. You will know when the time comes. And for us also it's like that, we just wait, we know that when the time comes. Welcome Prabhu. Welcome Mataji. Thank you for coming. We've just started the teachings of Lord Chaitanya seminar, and today's first session, we're covering teachings to Rupa Goswami. Yeah? So as I said, who is Lord Chaitanya? When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramakeli, automatically from their mouths this verse came out. So please repeat after me. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurapise Namaha Namne Gaurapise Namaha. So who's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Namo Mahavadanyaya. That is, I bow down to the one who is the most merciful incarnation. Most merciful. You cannot get any more merciful than Mahaprabhu. Can you get any more merciful than Mahaprabhu? How many yes, how many no's? Everyone know? It's not exactly, it's expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. Exactly. The holy name is more merciful than Mahaprabhu. Of course, we're not going to debate, but yes, we understand that Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation. What does he do? Next line, Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because he is so merciful, he gives the love of Krishna to everyone. Krishna or Krishna Chaitanya. Even though you are Krishna, but you have come in the form of Krishna Chaitanya. His name was Krishna Chaitanya. It says, Namne Gaurapi Senama. You have come in the Gaur incarnation, the golden complexion, and I am bowing down to you. So immediately Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were bowed down and they paid their respects to Mahaprabhu, glorifying his qualities. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started speaking to him. And then he said, I'm giving all these details, these three things. Truth about Krishna, the principles of devotional service, and the rasa, right? And then he said, you have later on to write them in a book. that you have to write in a book. Prabhupada also did the same thing. Prabhupada, he translated Chaitanya Charitamrita. But then what is the compact version of that? Which is the book, which is the compact version of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So Mahaprabhu, when he spoke to Rupa Goswami on the Dashashwamedh, the ghat of Varanasi, he said, yes, you have to write this book. And what is that book called? In Sanskrit? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti means loving devotion service. Rasa Amrit. Rasa means the nectar of the immortality. And Sindhu means an ocean. Just imagine what we're going to study is going to be an ocean of the nectar of devotion. Yeah? Even in Bhakti Shastri, when they teach, there are 4 waves. They teach just the first 17 chapters, first wave. Like that. Then, of course, Mahaprabhu starts with telling Rupa Goswami that the ocean of the teachings of devotion service, the teachings of devotion service like an ocean. It is so vast that it cannot be explained like that. But, he says that I'm going to give you some drops of that water so that you can understand that is it. For us, it's the same thing. We cannot, compact in this 1.5 hours to 2 hours what the teachings were, but we will try our best. So, Mahaprabhu says to Rupa Goswami that yes, there is an ocean of the teachings on devotional service. Yeah. Now, if someone has cooked, gulab jamun, and if you want to find out how the gulab jamuns are made, what will you do? Taste all of them or one? Only one. So by tasting one gulab jamun, we'll know the quality of all the gulab jamun, hopefully, if there's consistency. So, same thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami, that I will give you just one drop of that ocean, and then you will know, you will taste the, you will get the taste of the Bhakti Rasamrita, the nectar of devotion. So then, he starts with the most basic question which Sanatana Goswami asks Mahaprabhu. So what is the first question which Sanatana Goswami asks Mahaprabhu? Anyone? Yes, Ke Ami. He said, Ke Ami, who am I? Who am I? The first question. And if you understand that when we come to the Hare Krishna movement, first question we ask, who am I? I am not this. I am a spirit soul, servant of Krishna. Ke Ami. And the Sanatana Goswami actually is so humble that he doesn't only ask this question, he goes on to say that everyone thinks that I am, such and such. I am a minister and I am learned, I am educated, I am rich. But I don't even know who I am. So what kind of pretender am I? Then he says, I bow down to you so that you please explain me. Then Mahaprabhu starts explaining the form of the living entity. That's a jiva. Right? Then he starts with the size of the jiva. What is the size of the jiva? 1? 10,000. So Mahaprabhu, in Sanskrit and Bengali also they say, you take a tip of the hair, divide it into 100 parts. And then each part you divide into another 100 parts. That is the size of a jiva. Right? Now you can ask me that with modern telescopes and microscopes and all that, you can see, anything that small also. Can we see the soul in microscope? Right. No, even tiniest thing you can see. 1/10,000 of a tip of the hair you can see in the microscope. Why can't you see it?
It's not material.
Yes. I'm just looking for one word. Not transcendental. Yes, you there?
Spiritual.
Yes. It's subtle. Who said subtle? Yes. It's subtle, like our mind, and that's why even under the microscope you cannot see them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts his instruction with the jivas. Then he goes on to say there are two kinds of jiva, eternally liberated and eternally Condition. Nitya Mukta and Nitya Baddha. So two types of eternal. This eternally liberated, eternally conditioned. Right? Who are living in the, where are the liberated souls living? What's it called? Spiritual world. And right now we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. The spiritual world is what's it called? I give you this indication. Yes, Tripad Vibhuti. So the spiritual world in the entire creation is 3/4 of the creation and 1/4 is the material world. So the eternally liberated souls are living in the spiritual world, which is 3 times the size of material world. But that doesn't mean that they don't come here, they also come here, like Prabhupada was here. And we also have so many liberated souls among, ourselves, not, I don't know, in Brisbane, there might be some, but I don't know them. But, we have pure devotees who are, following Prabhupada and they are also, saving so many conditioned souls. So Jivas, again, 2 parts, eternally liberated, eternally conditioned. And again, then the moving and non-moving. Sthavar and who knows? Gujarati. Yes. In Hindi also same thing, Sanskrit also same thing. Sthavar and Jangam. So Sthavar means one who changes sthan, one who is moving and one who is not moving. So which are moving? 3 times again it describes. So there is a flow chart you can draw. Jiva, liberated condition, moving, non-moving. Moving 3 types, fly in the air, swim in the water and walk on the land. Just imagine this all teachings are given by Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami. Not that Rupa Goswami is not knowing this. He is also an eternal associate of the Lord. But just so that how Krishna spoke to Arjun and he is teaching Arjun, just to teach us, Mahaprabhu is teaching to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and all these personalities so that we can learn. And then of course there are liberated souls who are walking within us. Then among the conditioned souls, how many species? 8.4 million species, right? And then it says out of so many living entities, millions and trillions of living entities, very few are human beings. Very few are human beings. And among those human beings, very few are actually looking for something higher, looking for some which is truth. And among those human beings which are looking for truth, Mahaprabhu gives the 3 different paths which Krishna delineates in Bhagavad Gita. Which ones are those? No, the 3 paths which people are looking for. No, 3 paths we are looking for. 3 paths. No, 3 paths. Path, you there?
Karma, Jnana, Bhakti.
So karma, dhyan and jnana. And then there's bhakta. Yeah? So Karma Yogi, Krishna speaks about Karma Yoga in which chapter in Bhagavad Gita? 3rd and 5 mainly. 4th is the Jnana Yoga. 6th is the Dhyana Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. And then Krishna starts Bhakti Yoga. So Rupa Goswami, so Mahaprabhu is speaking to Rupa Goswami about these different types of human beings. Now, even when you are a Karma Yogi, you are a Jnana Yogi or a Dhyana Yogi, Mahaprabhu says that one must follow the Vedic scriptures. Right? One must follow the Vedic scriptures. And people, there are human beings, when they believe in the scriptures, they also understand that there is existence of God. Because you can see so many people who do not even want to think about the existence of God. Right? We're doing programs in the university, and I think it's the 5th or the 6th lecture now, where, slowly we are introducing the concept of God. So it's like, it takes a lot of time for people to understand there is God. So then people who follow the Vedic scriptures, very again, like out of the conditioned souls, very few are seekers, very few are coming on this path of following the Vedic scriptures, and again out of that, the bhaktas are very, very less. Right? So then, again, in that, Mahaprabhu says that people who are believing in Vedic scriptures and the advancement of civilization, there are 2 types of people. Righteous and unrighteous. Now that's interesting. You might think someone who's following Vedic scriptures, how can he be unrighteous? Give me an example of someone who's following Vedic scripture but is unrighteous. Exactly. Who said? Ravana, right? He's following everything. Pakka Brahman. You know, Kansa, they're all, like Pakka in following Vedic scriptures. In the 7th canto, if you have read, Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyaksha is dead, Hiranyakashipu goes and speaks to his mother and all the wives and the family, entire philosophy. Entire philosophy said, no, you should not worry. Body is temporary, soul is eternal, Hiranyaksha is not dead. No, he just gives the whole gun to the family. But then what does he do? He himself is following the scriptures, but then he is not a righteous person. He is unrighteous. So within that, you got righteous and unrighteous. Then within the righteous people, you have got the karmis who exercise the fruitive activities to derive some result from sense gratification, the karmis. And, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it's a long-winded path. If you are a karma yogi, to attain Krishna, to attain the love of God, it is a long-winded path. Again, for Jnana yogis, the same thing. For Dhyana yogis, the same thing. Then, Mahaprabhu starts speaking about the liberated souls. Who are the liberated souls? So, what did we speak about till now? From the beginning, Mahaprabhu starts with, who am I? Then, the size of the jiva. The jiva is subtle. Then the different types of living entities, liberated condition like that. Now he's going to start speaking about the person who actually is seeking the truth and he's lucky to come in contact with devotees. Now I will tell you one thing. The theme of this contact with pure devotee is coming again and again and again in all our scriptures. So mind you, we are all very, very fortunate to have come in contact with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Please do not underestimate that fortune. Please don't underestimate that fortune. We'll see what Prabhupada has given us as we move forward. This is, of course, we're covering the basics. But when the conversation with Sarvam Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai comes, special Ramananda Rai, that is astounding. It takes you to such great depths of devotional service, then you'll think tomorrow I'm going to leave my job. So it's just amazing, yeah. So then, when a devotee comes in the contact with a pure devotee, right? Then the process of liberation starts. Yeah. Then, what is the first teaching we get from there? That we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are a part and parcel of Krishna, and we are His eternal servants. Yeah. And then these souls actually start engaging with faith and devotion in the service of the Lord. Yeah? I want someone to give their experience of how they met a devotee, and then from there to now, maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to see very briefly that when you met a devotee and then you started studying Prabhupada's books, how this faith came about that I must start doing some service. Anyone wants to raise their hand as a volunteer? Yes, Prabhu. Can you give the mic to the other hand, please? So briefly just tell us when you came and then, how you came to service also. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I was working in the company, and then my boss, he was a counselor in the ISKCON temple, and I used to travel with him. He used to chant, and I used to do nothing. And then I used to ask him, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" He said, "You do, and you'll come to know." Then one day in our office, he put a bookstall, and he had got a lot of Prabhupada books. Out of respect, I really used to respect him the way he used to work. And I bought lot of Prabhupada books from him, and I just dumped them in a cupboard. And I didn't open them for 8 years. But when I started...
How many years?
8 years.
You can see now.
Yeah, and
So what did Prabhupada used to call his books as? Time bombs.
Yes.
My books are like time bombs. You don't know when they are going to explode.
Yeah, then when there was a very stressful situation, I remembered his number. I usually don't remember phone numbers, but I remembered his number, and he said yes. I asked Nadev Prabhu, are you Nadev? He said yes, Prasad. He gave my number, and then he said, then I spoke to him. He sat with me for 2 hours, and then he asked me, you have a set of books? I said yes. There were 4 books, like Come From Life, Raj Vidya, Beyond Birth and Death, and there was one more, I don't remember. I used to sell that set because I got inspired from those books, and it used to be my, selling kit or what distribution kit for many years. So that's how, when I started reading, within 15 days, Saturday morning I was there for chanting in VCC Discount Temple. That's my relation. Thank you.
So yes, when you come in contact with a devotee and then pure devotee like Prabhupada through his books, then then you will can I do something also? Can I do some service? And then with the service our journey of Bhakti Yoga begins. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else wants to briefly share? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, maybe roughly 2018 or 2019, we had not so good medical condition, and we met Daoji Prabhu as a doctor. We don't know him personally, and we have to meet him regularly, every 15 days. And slowly he was telling us about Krishna, just chant 2-3 minutes, and then he started inviting us to at his home for the monthly program. So slowly we got little bit interest, and out of nowhere we met Chaitanya Prabhu at one of the program, and he invited for the Bhagavad Gita class at Krishna Prabhu house, and we joined there. And then maybe after 1 year or 2 years, he asked us to provide a service at our Jindale temple for Sunday brunch. So we provided little bit service, and then this temple started, and we got more opportunity for the service. So in that way, maybe if we didn't meet the Daoji, we might not be here.
Yes. So this way, we all know that somewhere or the other, we make the devotees. Prabhupada actually in a letter, he also has written that there are devotees existing now in every town and village. All we need to is just go there and uncover them. And we have experiences, devotees who go on Sankirtan, they go, every town and village, and then they just immediately get someone who's Prabhupada says they're like dry grass. You just throw the spark of devotional service on them, they just, they catch fire like anything. So yes, thank you, Rupesh. Yeah. So this way, there's a verse which everyone knows, many of us knows. So please repeat after me. Brahmande Brahmite Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev. Brahmande Brahmite Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev. Guru Krishna Prasade Pare Bhakti Lata Bij. Guru Krishna Prasade Pare Bhakti Lata Bij. So what does it mean? Can someone give me the translation? Brahmande Brahmite. What is the meaning of Brahmita? Wandering around. The Jiva, the living entity is wandering around the Brahmanda, the entire material universe. This goes on and on and on. The cycle of birth and death is going on. Right? It go on and on and on. Birth, death, old age, disease. Birth, old age, death, disease. It goes on like that. Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev. Bhagyavan means who's very fortunate. The Jiva, the spirit soul, is very fortunate. And then what happens? What is the meaning of prasad here? Yes. You get prasad at 12:30, but this prasad is different. This prasad is mercy. Guru Krishna. So who is more merciful? with the mercy of Guru we get Krishna, and with the mercy of Krishna we get Guru. Now you can understand, this is a science, it is not something whimsical. 2-3 weeks ago I was giving a Sunday feast class, and I just changed the whole topic and I spoke on the summary of Bhagavad Gita. And there was one girl who came for the first time, and then she said that I never go to the temple, and I don't want to go to the temple. But when I came here, I found something different. I said, the difference here is the education we get here. And what you heard today was the entire summary of Bhagavad Gita. So this education is there that yes, we all experience this science. That Guru Krishna Prasade Payat Bhakti Lata Bij. Then Chaitanya, Bhakti Lata Bij is the seed of the creeper of devotional service. The seed of the creeper of devotional service. Now I want you to write down something very important. Chaitanya Maharaj writes about this seed. He says the Bhakti Lata seed, the Bhakti Lata Bij is like a chickpea seed. Like a chickpea seed. Anyone seen chickpea? A chickpea has got two parts. Yes? So chickpea has got two parts. The first part, he says, that is the knowledge of Bhagwan, Atma and Maya. So Bhagwan means the Lord, Atma means us as the spirit soul, the Jiva, and Maya can be either the illusory energy or the material nature, both. And that he calls as a Sambandha Jnana, the knowledge of the relationship of the living entity with the Lord. Yes, Sambandha Jnana. Because only if we have this knowledge of Sambandha, of the relationship, then we will be able to progress next. Yes, only when we have the relationship. Like that's why when new people come here, we always are welcoming so that we can, connect, have some relationship, establish a relationship, and then welcome them like that. So once people find there's a heart-to-heart connection, the relationship, it's very easy for them to become devotees. The initial Sambandha Jnana of Bhagwan, who the Lord is, who I am, and Maya, the illusory energy, the material energy of the Lord. This is the Sambandha Jnana. The second part of the seed is what they call Abhideya Jnana, the scientific process of achieving the goal. So these are two parts of the seed. Yeah. So then coming back to our journey of various souls, some of us, we want to go to so many temples and then worship so many devatas. Some of us do this, some of us do that, many things, right? But then, by our good chance, when this happens, yes, when we come in the contact of a pure devotee, our life changes. Yeah, our life changes. And then what happens? That, so Mahaprabhu tells Rupa Goswami, that sometimes even without the knowledge of that jiva, even without the knowledge of this spirit soul, right? And he receives the favor of a Vaishnava, of the devotee. And at that time, when you receive the favor of a devotee, you acquire what is needed to progress in the spiritual life. The Bhakti Lata Bij is sown in your heart. Now, a simple act, and this is in Sanskrit is called Agyata Sukriti. Agyata means unknown. Sukriti means pious activity, good behavior. Even if you have unknowingly, I know once Devamurti Maharaj was telling me that when he goes in the plane, not because he cannot do it, not because it's, he was telling me many years ago. It's not because he just allows someone else to put his bag in the compartment up there. He doesn't think that I'm a Vaishnava anymore. But he knows, okay, I am carrying the legacy of Prabhupada, right? So if someone does little service for me, like putting my bag on the top, his devotional service will start. I also know, once Sri Prabhupada was telling us that once Tamal Krishna Maharaj was in New Govardhan farm here, they were having lunch together. And after the lunch, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Sri Prahlad Prabhu that please come and help me wash my hands. Prahlad Prabhu took a jug, went to the sink, then washed his hands. Then Tamal Krishna Maharaj actually told him that it's not that I cannot wash my hands on my own. But this is an opportunity for you to serve a devotee like a Vaishnava. So Sri Prahlada, of course, himself is an elevated devotee. But this is the interaction of love between the devotees. That when we serve each other, and when we understand this is a pure Vaishnava, if I serve, the Bhakti Lata Bij will be established in my heart. Then Mahaprabhu speaks about Vaishnavas. He said Vaishnavas are very compassionate towards the conditioned soul. Yeah? And they go house to house of people even without invitation. Sometimes we also do that, right? We just go do book distribution, do Harinam. We are not invited anywhere. But we go. And then people understand, yes. So what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tell Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya? He says, my dear Nityananda, my dear Advaita Acharya, please, the only request I want to make to you is that go to every door, go to every house, and you tell them, please chant Hare Krishna. What is the verse? You there? What's the verse? Magoye Diksha. Gare Gare Jao Karo Ye Shiksha. Bolo Hari. Something like that. He says, go to every house and just request them that this is the only Diksha, this is the only alms we want, that you please chant Hare Krishna. So the Vaishnavas go to each and every house and then they enlighten these Grihasthas, these householders. For us, same thing has happened. Devotees come to our house and then they enlighten us. Krishna Maharaj was there recently in our house and he just purified the house, blessed the house, and then he gave instructions to all of us like that. So then when a jiva comes in contact with a pure devotee, does some service, the Vaishnava instills that Bhakti Lata Bij in the heart, then Mahaprabhu continues that then when we come in touch of a bona fide spiritual master, so we already done that. A Vaishnava, a devotee, a pure devotee, Prabhupada, whosoever it is, right? And then we start our journey of Bhakti Yoga from there. That the last verse of Guru Ashtaka, how does it go? Yasya prasada bhagavad prasado yasya prasada nagati kutopi dhyayam stubham stasi yasya sandhyam vande guru shri charanarvinda. That without the mercy of Krishna we will not get Guru, and without the mercy of Guru we will not get Krishna. So then yes, we have come into contact with the pure devotee, we have come in contact with Prabhupada, the Bhakti Lata Bij has been sown in our heart. Right? Then what is the next thing what we have got to do?
Watering.
Yes, exactly. And how do you water? By hearing and chanting. So this is the seed of devotional service. Watering the seed through hearing and chanting and carefully eliminating the weeds growing around the Bhakti Lata. So now the creeper is growing in our hearts of Bhakti Lata. Yeah. And then we are watering the Bhakti Lata by constant hearing and chanting, which is what we're doing now. What else do you do? If it's a small creeper which you have either planted in a pot or in your garden somewhere, or even sometimes in India they plant trees on the road. What do? Someone said? Yeah. You have to protect it. You have to protect it from weeds. And weather, yes. Animals, yes. So to protect from the weeds and animals. Now we'll also see what type of weeds are these, what type of animals are these. Then the Bhakti Lata Bij has been sowed into our hearts. We are hearing and chanting, and then the creeper of this devotional service is sprouting up and growing freely. Yeah, and forget the weeds and the animals now. Right now we are going to go to the positive side. So what happens with the Bhakti Lata? What happens with the creeper of the devotional service? What happens when we are nicely hearing and chanting, and when we are progressing in path of bhakti? Then what happens? Yes. So what happens to the Bhakti Lata? How far does it go? Yes. The Bhakti Lata, even though we might not know, and this connection will also experience. The connection will experience actually. Especially when we hear the next few conversations, we'll actually see that the Lord, in conversation with Ramananda Rai, Sarvamachari, is actually taking us to that level. He starts with the conversation with Ramananda Rai on basic level, and then Ramananda Rai is speaking everything correct, like how Arjuna is giving 5 reasons not to fight, and these 5 reasons are correct. But Krishna says, no, these are the refutations I am giving you against your excuses, and these are refutations at a higher level. So again, Mahaprabhu will take Ramananda Rai to a deeper and deeper and deeper level, and then he will take us to that also. So our Bhakti Lata also will penetrate, as they say, the covering of the material universe. When we are studying Bhagavatam, we know that the material universe is covered by different layers. Right? And then we approach the spiritual world. When it penetrates the coverings of the material world, it passes through Brahma Jyoti, and then it passes through all the, if our desire is, if it passes through all the different Vaikuntha planets, and then where does it go? And in Golok Vrindavan? Rest in the lotus feet of Krishna. And then what happens? Then the fruits of mature devotional service are coming out. So that is the Krishna Prema, the fruit of the maturity of our devotional service. Like that. So Mahaprabhu is explaining to you. But at the same time, then he is cautioning us against weeds and animals. Yes? So, yes, these are weeds, different types of weeds. And these weeds are caused by, can someone say this?
Due to offenses.
Yeah.
Due to material desires.
Yes.
Due to desire of liberation of material name and fame.
Yes. So due to offenses. Now, as we know, of course when we are chanting, we don't want to really just focus on our offenses. Oh Prabhu, I'm committing so many offenses, I'm not getting anything. No. My Guru Maharaj should keep the weaknesses, keep the offenses at the back of the mind, and keep the chanting and the service in the front of the mind. Yes, so we should be aware. Yes, I don't want to commit any offense. And then there are different types of offenses. Can someone name the broad categories of offenses? The aparadhs? Yes. Nam aparadh, yes. Someone said tham aparadh? Seva aparadh. So these are aparadh. Now where does the word aparadh means offenses? So where does the word aparadh come from? Yes?
Taking away from.
Yes. Aparadha means you are actually going away from Radha, Srimati Radharani. You are turning your face against Srimati Radharani. That is aparadha. So if any aparadha happens, right? I mean, not that Krishna and Radharani and Mahaprabhu are like holding the danda there. No, that's not the case. They are very merciful. I was reading and I was reading a class and the Maharaj was saying that we hear about person Bhagavad and book Bhagavata. Right? So we have book Bhagavad, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya, Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Updeshamrita and all that. But then this person Bhagavata also, all our gurus, Prabhupada, and these are person Bhagavata. But then Maharaj said, the difference between book Bhagavata and person Bhagavata is that person Bhagavata can twist your ear. If you are causing offenses, then, it can twist your ear and bring you back on the track. Book Bhagavata cannot do that, unfortunately. But person Bhagavata, so that is the case where if you are committing offenses, someone will tell you. Now, of course, it's not our prerogative to just go and tell everyone, you're committing offenses. Because that is the reflection of our heart also. We just cannot go and find offenses and, start telling everyone no. To correct someone, you need two things. If you want to correct someone, you need two things. What are those two things? And influence. Influence means someone, yes, impersonal influence, a personal influence. So if I have the authority, but if I don't have good relation with X, Y, and Z, then I will not try to go and correct that person. Right? But if I have influence only, but still no authority, then also it's better not to do it. But if someone has an authority and influence because of relationship, then we can correct the offense. So we will broadly discuss these offenses, as we say, Nam Aparad. Nam Aparad means the offenses against the holy name. And if you come to the morning program, which everyone must come on Sunday morning, because the condition of this seminar. No, it's nice actually. When we come together, it's very wonderful. So 10 offenses we recite. We are not going to go into the detail because we don't have time. There's a book written by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Begging the Nectar of the Holy Name. It's a very wonderful book. And there he delineates all the 10 offenses in great detail. I think he's got questions and answers in that also. So there are 10 offenses against the holy name. That is the Nam Aparad. And how can you counter this Nam Aparad? If you're doing these offenses, how can you counter these offenses? Especially Nam Aparad. Loudly, I can't hear. How can one counter Nam Aparad specifically? By chanting more. So Nam Aparad can be countered by chanting more. Right? Because ultimately when we chant more, Krishna becomes more merciful and he takes away the sinful desires from our hearts. Like that. So Nam Aparad can be countered or avoided by chanting more. One time when I was in Jaipur, I asked His Holiness Bhakti Rasan Sagar Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, when we are traveling, some of us went for parikrama recently in December, in Yatra. And then, we have to go and visit places and all that. In a way, we have more time because there's no household duties. But then in a way, the rounds are distracted. So I asked him, then what do we do? When we are traveling. He said, but in traveling, because we have more time, we can chant more. And then even though the quality of the rounds is not, Krishna understands that there's a specific purpose we have come here for. And then the Nam Aparad can be countered by more chanting. Then there is Dham Aparad. When we commit offenses in the holy places. Especially in Vrindavan, we must try to avoid. Vrindavan is a very heavy place. But at the same time, we have the concession also. Concession, right? It is said that when you're sleeping in Vrindavan, what are you doing?
Paying obeisances.
So even though you're sleeping, Krishna says, oh, this person is paying obeisance to me, so nice. So that is a concession given to us. So Dham Aparad is there, but also then you understand, Krishna, Radharani, Mahaprabhu, they are not hard taskmasters. They are very compassionate. So the concession is given to us. So that's why I always say that we have to be careful that we don't commit offenses, but don't keep that in the front of the mind. Otherwise we won't do any service at all. When we deal with people who are organizing things and all that, and when things don't go right, obviously these organizers are going to scream at you, yeah? Of course, sometimes we are very nice and we don't do that, but sometimes I do that. Sometimes things don't happen and then, like last minute change is not allowed. Give me notice, then I can do something, but last minute change is not allowed. Just, not very happy, and I show that unhappiness in the tone, in the words which I use sometimes. So yes, there is an offense created against a devotee. So then of course, you ask for forgiveness like that. And we know then Seva Aparad, we all do service in the temple, in the houses when we do our puja, and we commit offenses. Sometimes we are offering lamb, but the mind is thinking, okay, what I have to cook, or what dress I have to iron today. So Seva Aparad is happening when the mind is not aligned with the service we are doing. Krishna, of course, doesn't worry about this too much. So Mahaprabhu is explaining these different aparadhas. And then the Vaishnava aparadha, of course, which is the biggest one, we must try to avoid at all cost. And Vaishnava aparadha is called also as, what it is called as? Mad elephant aparadha. It's an offense like a mad elephant. What does a mad elephant do? It goes into a garden, breaks the fence, breaks everything what has been there, and just destroys everything. So for us, when we commit aparadhas against the Vaishnavas, which is again a very different topic, a very deep topic, because of our daily interactions, we commit offenses. So this has to be avoided. Otherwise, as the mad elephant just completely destroys a beautiful garden, we will destroy our bhakti lata completely. When the bhakti lata is beautifully sprouting, by committing Vaishnava offenses, we must the whole bhakti lata, the whole devotional creeper will be destroyed. Then he speaks to Rupa Goswami about, you have spoken about offenses. Then he says, once you pass the offenses, of course, Haridas Thakur, when he's speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he speaks of 3 stages of chanting the holy names. The first stage is called Nam Aparadha. Nam Aparadha means offensive chanting. We chant with offenses, right? The second one is Nam Abhas. Nam Abhas means chanting, what's it called? Nam Abhas? No. Clearing stage, yes, clearing stage. Clearing stage of chanting. So we are not committing offense. It's like dawn happening. When the night is finished and the dawn is just starting, so you can see that the darkness of ignorance is going away, but you still cannot see the full sunlight. The light of the holy name is still, coming. So that's the clearing stage. And the final one is pure Nam, Shuddha Nam. Shuddha Nam is the offenseless stage of chanting. So when we come to that offenseless stage of chanting, we will be then involving ourselves in pure devotional service. Pure devotional service. Now please don't get scared of some of these statements which our Acharya is making. For me, yes, I always keep them in mind, but I always keep the positive moving forward aspect also in mind. And that's why we just keep on going. Don't worry about what's not happening, this, all that. Of course, we have to be careful, but just don't, keep that in the front of your mind. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says, generally, most people will take 3 lifetimes in becoming a pure devotee. The first lifetime they will chant with Nam Aparadha, offensive stage of chanting. The second stage will be the second life. So this might be your which life? We don't know. No, we don't know. We don't know. The second life, he says, is the chanting of clearing stage, the Nam Abhas. And the third life, he says, Shuddha Nam, chanting in pure name. But also Prabhupada says, you can become Krishna conscious in one moment, like that. So then Rupa Goswami asks, okay, so how do we know whether I am doing pure devotional service or is it mixed? Of course, he speaks about many things, but as I said, we cannot cover all these topics, and also not only cover these topics, but these topics in detail. And that's why I give you the chapter numbers. You can go back and go through them, and then, yes, this is what the benchmark is. So then the Paribhasa Sutra of Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is that? Anya Bhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmati Navratam Anukulinam Krishnano Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Yeah? So he says the features of pure devotional service, when you know the... Is it there? No. Okay. This is different. Sorry. So when we come to the stage Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. Shunya means zero. When our other desires have become zero. And which are the other desires? Jnana Karmadi. So if our devotional service is mixed with the desire to get knowledge or desire to get some fruitive results, or desire to become famous, this, that and all that, till the time those desires are there, then we are not at that stage of pure bhakti. But when those desires are not there, we are saying, okay, Krishna is going to take care of me, no problem. And one stage will come. One stage will come when you come to that stage where the children have gone away, they have done everything. I've come to the stage where socially also it's okay if I don't go to this wedding or that graduation, it doesn't really matter. How can I serve Krishna? So in many ways, when I thought of presenting this seminar, I thought there are so many devotees who actually worked very hard for the last 6 months. Actually, you can see right from the July-August festivals last year to Janmashtami, Prabhupada Clean's Day, Radhashtami, and then Govardhan Puja, and then the first 3 festivals of this year. Devotees have worked very hard, like that. So of course, everyone wants to spend some time with the family and all that. That's required. But now all of us are here also. So then we understand that yes, there's no other desire except come here and hear about the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. We have no other desire, just come here, nicely. All the arrangements are taken care of. The seats are there, you can move around, there will be lunch provided, and then you hear and you go away. So this way, when we know that I have no other desire continuously, anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavrtam. That means I don't want any knowledge, I just want bhakti. Knowledge is quite required, of course, but Mahaprabhu again tells him that if you are following a ritual, if you are doing karma yoga, if you are doing dhyana yoga, whatever else you are doing, but if the intention is not to come to devotional service, those things are useless. Those things are useless. No point. Now, of course, you will come to devotional service after a long time when you meet a devotee, but it's better that we take up to devotional service now. And then when we have this understanding that I don't have any desire, one time I was hearing a class and they said, in the morning we sing this verse, the Shikshastakam verse, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, vaja vidish kamaye, and then from 9 o'clock we start, na dhanam, 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 dhanam. Every morning we chant, but every 9 o'clock the situation changes. So of course we are not at that level, but we should aim to come to that level when the time comes. Of course, when if you are ready and if you're more inclined towards devotional service, you can try. We were hearing from Vrajvihari Prabhu that Harekrishna Prabhu has just moved into Hillsborough in North Carolina. And then when I asked him, so does he have a job or something? So he said, no, his Guru Maharaj told him that do not do any job, just rely on Krishna. So he's just relying on Krishna and spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. So this way, pure devotional service, anya vilashita shunya. Now, then Mahaprabhu, what's the time? 11:20. Yeah, 11:20. So we have about 30-40 minutes. Any questions so far? Any comments or any reflections? Anyone wants a little break? 2 minutes break? Anyone wants to get up and stretch? Do whatever you have to do? Any questions? No. Yes. Yes. So yes, Krishna in the 18th chapter also he says that one can know Krishna through the work also. After he describes the 1841, 42, 43, when he describes the qualities and work of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and immediately says that whatever you are there, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, you can still attain Krishna just by your work. So the attention has to be, the consciousness to be there that I am working this, okay, Krishna, I am working now, but then I want to offer the results to Krishna. And like how they say the 3 R's we have to remember about our work. You've heard of 3 R's, right? That the work has to be righteous. If the work is righteous, it's easy to be Krishna conscious. The second is remember. So how do we remember Krishna while we are working? So remember means, our passwords are all, 108, something, either Guru's initials or whatever it is. It's very easy to hack devotees' computers. All the wallpapers, all the screensavers are, the Lord's pictures, the devotees' pictures like that. So this way we can remember Krishna and then the results. So we offer the results to Krishna. So righteous work, remember the Lord while you're working, and then offer the results to Krishna. So this way, when we are working also, of course we are not fully Krishna conscious, but we are Krishna conscious. 2 books, if anyone wants to progress from here, of course, one must read Prabhupada's books first, definitely. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Sri Shopanishad. These are a must, definitely. After we have studied them, we have understood them, then 2 more books, Shuddha Bhakti Chittamani by Shivaram Maharaj, and it's just not coming to me. So, when we read these 2 books, then we can go really into detail into the depth of our understanding of Krishna consciousness. Yeah? Okay. So we start now. Again, sorry, yeah.
I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
As you said that Anya Vilasa Sunya and all other desires. So how we can identify where we need to put our boundaries for the desires, even if it is related to karma or it is related to our family or whatever. So how can we identify that where we should boundaries?
A simple benchmark, a simple test is it increasing my bhakti? If some desire and some acquisition, once you have desired, then you want to acquire that thing or go to that place, whatever it is it increasing my bhakti? Even when we ask questions, sometimes, I've heard devotees ask questions to just show that I want to ask questions. But even when we ask questions, is it increasing our bhakti? So any desire which increases our bhakti, yes, we can understand that, okay, maybe yes, like that. And if it is, you have to think, okay, if you're not increasing my bhakti, but then the mind will also argue that yes, this desire is actually helping me in bhakti. So that you have to be very careful also. Yes, yes.
Because it's struggling. The mind says yeah, but like that says yeah.
So the mind will say, no, you can do that. This will, no problem. So much you've done, in the evening you need a bit of break, so Netflix is okay for 15 minutes. That desire must be fulfilled, so that tomorrow you are fresh again for bhakti. Yeah, so that's mind will say like that. Anything else? Yes, Mari? And what? One of those, yes. Okay. Yes, it's like a circle. So when you have anarthas, then you won't chant with love. Aparadha will be there. Right? And because of aparadha, anarthas increase. But then we try hard and hard, more hearing, more chanting like that. And as we said that, the quality of chanting comes from quantity of chanting. So quality of chanting comes from quantity of chanting. Yeah? So when we know, and that's why introspection is very important. Introspection is very important. That when we introspect, one definition of humility is like introspect and be humble. So when introspecting, a lot of the anarthas will come out. But then if we are not honest, then we'll try to curb those anarthas. I'm such a good devotee, people, please accept me as a nice devotee. So this is not honesty. So when we introspect and we are honest, then humility comes. And then so we have to also address the anarthas. Because that's what happens when we start the process of devotional service, when we progress, what comes out first? What comes out first? Anarthas. When you are melting gold, what comes out first? The impurities. The impurities are very visible. Very visible. Same way, even our anarthas are very visible. But because we are not honest with ourselves, then we want to suppress the anarthas. And that's a problem. But when we are honest with ourselves, we discuss these anarthas, we work on those anarthas, then slowly we'll get the taste. And Krishna sees. You don't have to show it to anyone, please. Don't think that people are watching you, people are not watching you. No one is watching you. But Krishna knows. So our desire must be that Krishna, somehow or the other I want to progress. Somehow or the other, please help me out. Yes? If we have this deep, deep desire, then Krishna helps. Yeah. Keshav Maharaj says very nicely, we have deep desires and we have loud desires. So sometimes deep desires are covered and loud desires are there. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. But he says the day our deep desires become loud desires, that's the day we should aim for. Raman, will you raise your hand?
So the same, like churning of the ocean, poison came first.
Yeah. Churning of the ocean, poison came first. Yeah. Yes. So, when we chant Hare Krishna, it's very interesting actually. When we are honest with ourselves, when we see the others, it's always nice to discuss with others, With us, what the hell? I don't want to just be a hypocrite. I want to show myself who I am. Like that. Of course, we need on a one-to-one basis. I'm not saying in public. On a one-to-one basis, there are devotees who can help us out, like that. Recently, someone wrote to me, and they said, because when I'm chanting, I take a long time, and I don't have time, then what should I do? He says, I take 11, 12 minutes to chant one round. So then I just, one tip I gave, I said, there's a tape of Prabhupada chanting on YouTube. Just chant with Prabhupada, but just for the beginning. Once you come to the 7-8 minutes level, then you have to hear your own voice, or Prabhupada's voice. So that way, simple things can be discussed like that. Yeah? Okay, any more?
This morning I've learned something quite distressing, that there's two types of jivas, eternally conditioned and eternally unconditioned. So where does that leave us? If we're conditioned, and I'm figuring that I'm conditioned, how is that eternity, or how do I get the opportunity?
So is that distressing for you?
Very distressing.
Okay, we're together, so don't worry. We'll take it from there. No, when we say eternally conditioned and eternally liberated means, that's why we are here in the process of bhakti. So when by the end of the seminar, hopefully we'll have some idea of our future. Don't worry. It's a good question actually. Think of it. All do and do, man. Prabhu, I'm just going to leave after this. Have some nice offering is done, Rasa? Yeah. Okay. So soup and baked pasta you can have, and I'm going to leave. No, just hang on. No, it says eternally conditioned means there are entities who are, when they don't get a chance to associate like this, Krishna is speaking about, people, jivas like that because their desires are not that strong, and they are not that fortunate to come in contact with a pure devotee, so this is, then we hear in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, there are castes in the darkest region of hell. Krishna doesn't, do it purposely, but that the system is created. Yeah. Okay? Prabhu, when you hear the conversation between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, if you don't get your hair on end, Paisa Baba says this in India. Actually some amazing conversation happening. I just think that we don't have time for this. If we have time, we can cover so much, so much. Okay, so now, Krishna again, Mahaprabhu goes back to, our own, pure devotional service. So pure devotional service means, first thing, is that we are engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. Please write this down. Pure devotional service, so these are different angles which we're speaking about. Pure devotional service means we are engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. Yeah? Now then he comes back to our upadhis. Upadhi, how many of you have heard the word upadhi? So what does upadhi mean? That's after coming to ISKCON. What does upadhi mean before that? So in Gujarati the word upadhi means problems. Right? It's problems. Yeah? So upadhi means problems. So we have these problems of designations. Now, upadhi actually means designation, yes. But then we also understand that upadhi. So We know this, and I won't spend much time on that. Mahaprabhu speaks that because we all have our designations, I'm a father, I'm a white man, I'm a Chinese, I'm a businessman, I'm a student, whatever these are, all upadhis, these are our designations. And currently, we tend to spend a lot of time having those desires. When you set the boundaries are that, are we having this desire to satisfy our designations as a mother, as a child, as a business person, as whatever it is? Am I satisfying that desire for that designation, or am I using my senses to fulfill the desires of the Lord? Am I engaging all my senses in the service of the Lord? Like that. So slowly, when we are engaging our senses in all these things, my own senses, my own sense gratification, my extended sense gratification, family, society, country, all these things process, then we cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. But when the senses are purified, then we understand that, Jiva Swarup Bhai Krishna Nityadas, that the eternal constitutional position of the Jiva is that I am a servant of Krishna, and then I must engage all my senses in the service of Krishna. Then, when we start engaging all our services in the service of Krishna, then that's called pure devotional service. Yeah. Then Mahaprabhu speaks about the stages of devotional service. I won't go into detail here because it's quite depth. We will probably skip that. There's three. The next slide, is it coming? No, that's not. Sorry. So 3 stages of devotional service. One is the beginning stage of cultivation. I'll just speak a little bit. So when we come into contact with the devotees, we've got that Bhakti Rata beach stored in our hearts, and then we are hearing and chanting, watering that Bhakti Rata beach. So this is the beginning stage of cultivation. Yeah. The main thing is that here we are doing our devotional service more because we are told to do, not because we like to do. There's no watertight compartment. It's a gradual flow. How many of us actually look forward? Yes, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock. Get ready and chant my rounds. Raise your hands. Okay, 1, 2, wonderful. So that not because we have to chant our rounds, but because I like chanting my rounds, or I like getting up early. So this way, this is the stage of passing from the stage of cultivation. The next stage is stage of realization of service. Then I realize my service. This is my service. I have to do the service. When I chant the holy name, I'm actually being intimately connected with Krishna. I'm intimately associating with Krishna. So many things we hear about Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we chant this Maha Mantra every morning, whatever number of rounds we chant, what are we trying to do? We are trying to actually worship Krishna. We are trying to, as they say, one Acharya says, that we are trying to serve the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna, by bringing them together. Hare Krishna, so we bring them together. Yes? So Hare is Srimati Radharani, Krishna is Krishna, so we bring them together. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So we are bringing Srimati Radharani and Krishna together. So this is service we are offering when we are chanting our rounds. Then also, of course, we know that when we chant with longing, Krishna is pleased. Prabhupada says that, whatever other services you're doing, whether cooking, cleaning, driving, whatever, you can still chant. So chanting must go on with every other service. So when we come to a stage where no one has to tell us that these things have to be done, and we don't do as a matter of duty, then the next stage of realization of service comes. So from cultivation, then the next stage is realization of service. And the third one, the supreme stage, is attainment of love of Godhead. This is the final stage where Krishna Prema comes. Of course, as we know, it is not that it's black and white, it's compartmentalized. It's a gradual flow. And Vishwanath Chakravarti, in his Madhurya Kadambini, wonderful book, He's given right from the Shraddha stage, from faith, to right up to Bhava and Prem. Even in Bhava stage, the stage of emotions, there are different levels, and even at the stage of Prem, there are different levels. Yeah? And once you achieve, even at the Bhava stage, one can fall down. But once you attain the Prem stage, then there is no coming back. So we'll discuss a few examples of different different relationships where devotees have attained this stage like that. This is again different angle. We'll just take that different angle. So two different angles of devotional service. We saw the three stages of cultivation, realization, and pure love, and then now different angles. One is called the awe and veneration. Awe and veneration, what's it called? And then the pure love. It's not coming to me. Means, when once you worship Krishna with respect. Of course, in our case, in everyone's case here, Prabhupada said that as long as you have the material body, you have to serve the Lord with awe and veneration. Respect has to be there. It's not that Pujari goes on the altar and he's filled with Krishna Prem and he says, actually forget, offering lamp and that, I'm going to hug Krishna. We don't do that. The proper procedure is followed. That, you start your devotional service, even when, you have that feeling. One time, Krishna's servant, his charioteer, Daruka, he was fanning Krishna. And he suddenly felt complete ecstasy. Imagine Krishna can control you. How can you even control yourself? So he had this feeling of complete ecstasy, and then he just, he just shook for a while when he fanned Krishna. But immediately realized, no. Even though I have got this emotion, intense emotion, for Krishna, I have to do my service. Then he again came back in his senses and he started fanning Krishna like that. So that is the mood of awe and veneration that we are serving. Especially when our Guru, when our spiritual master is coming now very soon. And we must make sure, Sakshat Haritmena Samasta Shastra, that Guru is almost as good as God. So we have to serve him with complete awe and veneration. Even though from his side he is very friendly, he is very affectionate, he's like very, he is very close to us, but still from our side, we have to maintain that respect. Many of us know His Grace Bhagavad Ashraya Prabhu, was here recently. And he's like our family friend for many, many years. And we know them for many years. So one time we were having a discussion, and so he was telling us, no, Sakhi, we are friends. I said, Prabhu, you cannot be my friend. He said, from your side, you can treat me like a friend, but from my side, you are godmother of my spiritual master. So you are like my spiritual master. I cannot ever think that you are my friend. So, this way we can understand this awe and veneration has to be there. And the second one is the pure love of God. Whereas we see the Brajvasis, they don't know Krishna as God. They all think that Krishna is just one amongst them. That is the pure love of God. So this is again two different angles. There are two names, so this is not coming to me. Ragatika Bhakti, I know the first one. No, that's two types of Bhakti. These are two names also of this position. Vaidhi Bhakti and Ragana Bhakti is there. So when we follow the Vidhi, the processes, the protocols of the Bhakti, that's awe and veneration, and the respect is there. And the second one is called Ragana Bhakti, where spontaneous loving devotional service is there. So we'll discuss that. Okay, please don't worry, only 20 minutes to go. So if your faces are going down, your energy levels are going down, please just stay put. If you want to take a little, walk around, you can do that. One other angle which I'm going to put here, it's a bit technical, so please pay attention. And then we'll go into the 5 and 7 rasas, and then we'll conclude the session. So these are the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Rupa Goswami. He says the transcendental love, the pure prema, the pure love, the bhava, which the ecstasy which someone, a devotee has for the Lord, that also has got two components, right? Now here very carefully please write down. You might not understand the meaning now, but I might just send you this portion of note. One is called the context, and one is called the cause of the excitement. One is called the context, and one is called the cause of excitement. This context also is divided into two parts. The context is divided into two parts: the subject and the object. Right? So obviously, who is the object? Krishna is the object. And what is the subject? Bhakti, yes. The exchange of devotional service is the subject. So this is the two parts of the context. Ashraya and Ashraya Tattva, or Ashrita.
Sorry, what is the Ashraya?
So context is again two parts. The subject and object. Object is Krishna, who is the Ashraya, the Samam Bonam, and the subject is the exchange of devotional service. And then the cause of excitement, we talked about the context, but the cause of excitement is Krishna's divine qualities. You know, my Guru Maharaj is giving the lectures on this Vrindavan series, and the title is called the stimulation for ecstasy. So there's stimulation going on when we hear about these amazing qualities of the divine couple, Krishna, Srimati Radharani, the Vrindavan Dham, and all the associates. So much depth is there in these classes. The people said, actually, yes, I want to be a part of it. And then the excitement happens like that. So this is Krishna's divine qualities, the transcendental qualities, are the causes of excitement. And when us as devotees become enamored by the amazing qualities of Krishna, we automatically become excited to serve Him. So the context is the Lord, the bhakti, and then the excitement is there for us to serve Him. Isn't it so beautiful? Just imagine that. Yeah? So there's nothing to worry about it. You know the famous story where a reporter asked Prabhupada, says, Swamiji, you are doing all these things, so much, austerity is going on here. What at the end of your life, if you know that there is no Krishna? Just imagine 4 o'clock getting up, taking a bath, chatting around. At the end of life, you think there is no Krishna. So Prabhupada's answer was that, anyway, I am having a great life. And I have a good life, Every day I have wonderful singing, wonderful dancing, wonderful prasadam, great life. But then he said, but imagine if you realize that there's Krishna at the end of your life, then what's going to happen? The reporter was stunned. Imagine you live a sinful life, and at the end of your life you think, yes, Krishna is there. What's going to happen to me? So this is what our journey is, like that. So last part we're going to cover is the 5 primary and 7 secondary rasas. What's the time we have? 15 minutes. Yeah, we have, should be enough. So 12 o'clock we'll split for lunch, and then about 30 minutes time we can come back. So 5 minutes time to go here, the bathroom and all that. 15 minutes for eating, 5 minutes for chatting, and then come back here. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, that. Okay. So 5 primary rasas, the relationship with the Lord. Can someone read this, please?
Santa, naturally, quality of
Neutrality.
neutrality, quality of awe and veneration.
Yeah, so in the Shantras, there's the respect is there, the neutrality is there, there's not much emotions there.
Dasya, servitude, consciousness and transcendental taste of service. Sakhi, fraternity, confidential attachment.
It's called Vishramba also.
Vatsalya, parental affection, Supreme Lord is dependent on the mercy of the devotee. Madhurya, conjugal love, highest platform.
Yeah, so these are the 5 primary rasas in which we can relate to Krishna. So these rasas, depending on what your relationship is, constantly remain in the heart of a devotee, right? So when the devotee becomes pure, they're always there. Like Hanuman, what bhav does he have for Ram? Dasya. Do you think he's ever going to change that? No. The Dasya bhav is constantly remaining in the heart of Hanuman, right? Of course, it can change. It's not that. Arjun was in a Sakhi bhav before he heard Bhagavad Gita. But after he heard Bhagavad Gita, then what is it? He was still a friend, but he acknowledges his Dasya bhav, right? But then also that at that level, once the war had started, what position did Arjun gain? Vis-a-vis Krishna. So Krishna is charioteer, right? He is master. So Arjun became, but that's at that level. Yeah, Krishna is, lovingly subjugating to Arjuna. And of course we heard that, when there's so much noise happening in the war, horses are there, elephants are there, everyone is, crying out for the war, right? Arjuna cannot speak to Krishna. Krishna cannot hear. So then how does he signal? By kicking Krishna. Arjuna signals to Krishna by kicking him. Left, right, intense left, intense right, sharp left, sharp right, like that. So that is at that level. So let's discuss very briefly a few. So Shankaras generally, devotees appreciate that yes, Krishna is God. It just stops there. There's not much activity there. So that's why it's called neutrality. There's awe and veneration. There's respect there for the Lord and His devotees. And of course, one thing I want to tell you, that when you progress from one to another, the qualities or the features of the previous ones will already be there. So if you are in Dasyaras, the Sakyaras qualities will be there. If you are in Sakya, the Dasya and Shanta will be there. Vatsalya, the three like that, they will be already there in that. In Madhurya, all the first four features are going to be there. So, as Sakyaras, we see the word here is used, the Dasyaras is servitude, right? So, we just want to serve the Lord. But this is pure devotion. There's nothing else. There's of course the servant and master relationship is there. But besides that, there's no awe and veneration is not there. In Vrindavan, it's just not there, right? In the Dasyaras. In the Sakyaras, then the fraternity is equality. The feeling of friendship is there in the Sakyaras, right? And in the Sakyaras, the Shanta and Dasya are already there. So, and also I mentioned in Sakya, confidential attachment. Confidential attachment. Now what does this mean? This means that the devotee, the pure devotee, is attached to Krishna. Is very much attached to Krishna. He will not see anything besides Krishna. But sometimes he will keep it confidential, just to play the Leela, like that. When we see the cowherd boys are playing with Krishna, and when then Krishna and his team, they lose, and they've got a bet, they've got an arrangement that the team who loses will carry the other person, the other team on the backs, right? Do you think the boys in the other team are going to say, no, you are Krishna, so it's okay for you? No. They are very attached, but that arrangement is confidential. Openly they will say, no, you guys lost. So Krishna, you have to carry me. You know the famous story of, what's his name? Sudama. So, he wrestles with Krishna. And then he beats Krishna, And then Krishna has to carry him. Right? And then when Krishna has killed Kamsa, Sridham, they are enjoying Mathura. So after he killed Kamsa, then they enter. Sridham and Sudama and all the friends enter. And they see, Kamsa is killed. Such a mighty warrior, he could, attack and kill 10,000 elephants at a time. Who killed this guy? So everybody saying, Krishna killed him, Krishna easily killed him. And they're laughing at Krishna. Says, I beat you, man. I beat you in the jungle. How you beat him? He doesn't believe. Let's have a fight again. So just to make sure that Krishna is, killed Kansa, they want to have a fight again with Krishna. So this is, the attachment for Krishna is there, but it's hidden in the heart. This is the Sakya Ras. Yes? Then comes Vatsalya Ras. Yeah? Okay, sorry, before that I missed something. In the Sakya Ras, there are 3 divine characteristics. Please write down these 3. They are there, but they are hidden. So sense of greatness, sense of service, and sense of intimacy without any respect, out of love, without all veneration. So when the cowherd boys, when every evening they come back to Vrindavan, what do? They tell their parents, today Krishna did this, today Krishna killed this demon, today Krishna did this and all that. The sense of greatness of Krishna is there. Then sense of service also is there, because everyone wants to serve Krishna, including Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, you would have seen a picture of Lord Balaram is sitting, and on his lap, Krishna has put his head, and Krishna is sleeping. So Lord Balaram also wants to serve. So sense of service is there. And then the sense of intimacy is there. We are one. Krishna is our body, Krishna is our mind. So that sense of intimacy is there. That's the Sakya Ras. And then there is the Vatsalya Ras. Vatsalya Ras, of course, we know the parental affection, where the parents think that they are protecting Krishna. It's not the other way around, that Krishna is protecting them. They are protecting Krishna. And we know that whenever a demon is killed by Krishna, the parents think that somehow this happened, but I must chant some mantra to protect Krishna. So they'll chant Narayan Kavash or this mantra or that mantra, to protect Krishna. So this is how the characteristic of protection is there. Of course, there's so much love also there as parents, but there's so much love there that when Krishna is going to Vrindavan, to the forest to herd the cows, what does Mother Yashoda do? Mother Yashoda, under one or the other pretext, will bring Krishna back. Imagine that your child is going out. Have you worn your shoes? Have you taken your lunch? Have you taken your water? Then Krishna will walk a few steps. Come, you forgot this. I forgot to give you this. So the mother doesn't want Krishna to go in the forest at all. But she doesn't want the separation even for one moment. So this way, the parents, besides protection, they also want to be with Krishna all the time. So this sense of intimacy also is there, like that. And of course, the last one is the Madhurya Ras, the love, conjugal love, where the gopis and of course Srimati Radharani, they just cannot tolerate separation from Krishna even for one moment. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while speaking to Rupa Goswami on all these things, he's constantly quoting verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. I didn't, I knew that we won't have time, but when you study this, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita teaching Lord Chaitanya, a lot of the verses from Bhagavatam are quoted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that. So these are the 5 primary rasas, and then there are 7 secondary rasas. Now these secondary rasas might come and go, they might not be there present all the time. And I've got a slide for that or no? Or this is the last slide? Okay. So the 7 secondary rasas are, if you write down, the first one is the Hasya rasa. Hasya means humor or laughter. Right? So when Krishna is stealing butter and is getting caught, what does he do? He makes faces, in front of the gopis, right? And he will make faces or will blame gopis' own children. Because of this guy, I did that. He wanted to eat butter, I didn't want to eat butter. Because he wanted to eat butter, I wanted to. This is the way Krishna invokes humor like that. And sometimes Gopas will dress as gopis to take part in the pastimes of Srimati Radharani and her sabha, her assembly. They just laugh among themselves when they see each other. Imagine, the drama we had for Ramayana. Even though it was serious drama, but a lot of them were laughing. So this laughter is there when the Gopas dress as gopis. This is the hasya rasa, the laughter. The second one is wonder, astonishment, called adbhut rasa. Adbhut rasa. Can you give an example of wonder? Who wonders in Krishna Lila? Famous one. Come on. The Mrit Bhakshan Lila. When Krishna is eating dirt, and when Mother Yashoda opens the mouth of Krishna, Mother Yashoda is wondering, wow, in his mouth the entire universe is there. So that's the Adbhuta Rasa, the wonder. She's wondering. Like astonishment is there. How come this has happened? And when the cowherd boys see Krishna lifting over the hill with his little pinky finger of left hand, was wondering, this guy is playing with us, and like he's lifting the golden hill. What's happening here? So this is the Adbhut Rasa, the wonder and astonishment. Then the next one is chivalry, heroism, the Veera Rasa. When Krishna fights with the bull demon or any other demons, and the coward boys are, just encouraging him. Go for it, man, go for it, go for it. And just kill him. And then this way Krishna shows his valor, his chivalry, his heroism, the Veera Rasa. I like that. And then, of course, Arjuna is serving Krishna through his fighting. And then the next rasa is compassion or lamentation, which is called Karuna Rasa. Karuna Rasa. And this we can see when Krishna is going with his bare feet and he pretends that I am hurt, and he starts little crying like that, and the cowherd boys show some pity on him. How we have little hurt happens to Krishna, and it's like that. So Krishna is doing something like that. And of course the other one is the gopis feeling very much intense sadness when Krishna is leaving. We can read about the conversation when Akrura is taking Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, and when the gopis are coming and seeing that Krishna and Balaram are going, and then they speak among each other. That is a very Karuna Rasa, that we will never see Krishna again. Just imagine that. Someone who's your life and soul, who you have lived your whole life with, and then you're not going to see them again. That's the Karuna Rasa which gopis exhibit. Then last three, the anger, the Raudra Rasa, where Mother Yashoda is showing anger when she catches Krishna, and Bhishma Deva, when he's fighting against the Pandavas, is showing also his anger, his Raudra Rasa. In war, of course, Bhishma is, even though he's a devotee, but when Duryodhana, insults him, Bhishma Deva is fighting with his full might, and the Raudra, the anger comes out. Narasimha, of course, is another form of the Raudra. Raudra means anger. Then the next one is the Bhayanaka Rasa, the dread or the fear. Fear is there. And Mother Yashoda again is worried about, is afraid of Krishna's safety. And that's why she wants to bind him. She thinks that she's afraid that Krishna will walk away in the forest and he will meet with some danger. That's the fear, the dread, the Bhayanaka Rasa. And the last one is the Vibhatsa, the ghastliness or the horror. When in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna is covered with mud and blood and all the perspiration, everything together, you can see, even though Krishna is so beautiful, but this rasa of ghastliness, the horror, comes out. And Bhishma Deva actually is enjoying this form of Krishna. And he tells Arjuna that you think you are fortunate, I am more fortunate. Because I saw Krishna from the front, you are seeing Krishna always from the back. Whereas, I could see Krishna in his Bhayanaka, Vibhatsa, the ghastly rasa. And then when the king Kamsa is experiencing hatred and horror, then Krishna ultimately kills him. So imagine Krishna killing Kamsa, and Kamsa is experiencing this horror of Krishna, the ghastliness of Krishna, the Vibhatsa rasa. like that. So these are 7 secondary rasas. These might come and go. So Rupa Goswami is being instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on these rasa. That's why Rupa Goswami is called Ras Acharya. He is Acharya of rasa. And so these are the teachings of Mahaprabhu. Exactly on time here. Any questions or comments? Was it okay so far? Too much? Too fast? Too slow? Anyone felt sleepy here? So this is the Rupa Goswami. Then in the teachings of Sanatana Goswami, and he's speaking about the Sambandha, the process of devotional service. And we'll, after probably half an hour, 40 minutes, we can come back and continue with that. I know it's a little intense, sitting for such a long time, especially after prasadam. So please bear with me. Somehow keep yourself awake. Keep the nidra devi at bay. I will, it's sometimes I think okay, but because this is a serious topic, and we should try to pay as much attention as we can. And of course, drinking water, writing our notes, moving around, these things help like that. Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Sat Goswami Prabhu's ki, Jai Shri Gauranta ki, Jai Teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki, Jai. So what's the time now? 12:03. We'll gather here again at 12:35, 12:40, and then we will learn about the teachings to Lord to Sanatana Goswami. Yeah. The success of this seminar will depend on the presence in the next seminar.